Doing a bit of a video inside of a video here. We've just been testing a bunch of different tactical pens, and one of the tests we put them through was writing under a bunch of water here. So we've got this little tray of water, and we put some different types of paper in there, and that's what this review is going to talk about, the different types of paper. We used, on the left here, some Write in the Rain paper that's typical of their notebooks. To the right of that, we have a sample from Write in the Rain of some paper that they use in tests like this. On the right here, we have a piece of paper just out of a typical pocket notebook, and that's over here, been soaking in water. And then we have a white sheet and a little bit less color and a little bit off color white. And the bottom one is this Write in the Rain all-weather copier paper. It's designed to fit into a laser printer or a regular copier. Then you print whatever you need on the paper, and from that point on it's smear-proof and weatherproof. And then the whitest piece here in the middle is a sheet of this, or is a portion of a sheet of this National Geographic adventure paper. Same concept, it's waterproof, tear resistant, that you can print on, and then once you've printed on it through your printer, it's going to be a weatherproof and tear resistant record. So since we were testing the pens, we decided to take a quick break before we dumped out all this paper and do a quick video of how the paper turned out. So first I'm going to try to save the map that it's laying on by putting down a piece of tactical fabric. Then we can hopefully take a look at these pieces of paper without ruining the map under there. So the regular piece of paper out of the notebook, you can see that most of the pens were able to write fairly decent on it. It is definitely ready to fail, and it's not quite pulp, but it's going that way. So next up is the Write in the Rain sample of plain paper, and I guess they were trying to cook the books a little bit. They obviously used a very thin piece of paper, at least compared to our sample there, and you can see that none of the pens wrote really well on it underwater, and it's definitely on its way to turning back into pulp. That whole big piece wadded up into a little ball like this. So next, let's take a look at the typical Write in the Rain notebook type paper. Weather resistant, outdoor all-weather stuff, and all the pens pretty much wrote fine on it. A couple of them struggled to write underwater, but it wasn't any fault of the paper. And although it's been in water, like you can see, the water's almost going to bead on it. It hasn't lost any of its strength and can still be folded. I would say this is a lot like a dollar bill. I'm sure everybody's felt a dollar bill. This is a material that's thin like paper, but still, it's got some strength to it. So if I tried to wad this up, it'll wad down, but I'll be able to take it right back out, have, still a viable piece of paper. Where with either of these two, if I attempted to unwrap them, I'm going to rip and tear, and it's going to be tougher and tougher over time, and whatever I'm left with is not really going to be a piece of paper anymore. Next, let's take a look at the Write in the Rain copy paper, and it's a little different than their regular paper, but you can see even it being on the bottom of everything there, the water is almost beading on it. It definitely has a coating or something. Again, if we try to smash that stuff down, it's only really crumpling this much because it's wet. But again, like a wet dollar will crumple more than a dry dollar. But once we open that up, we don't even really have to be delicate with it. Now you can notice that where we creased it, it looks like it actually absorbed some water. So we may have damaged it by crinkling it too much. But obviously it can survive at least one thing like that. Next up is the adventure paper from National Geographic, and wow, that's all I can say is this stuff is really cool. Not only did it work the best pretty much for all the pens, but look at this. I should have tried that on the Write in the Rain. Yeah, it's not going to smear on Right in the Rain for sure. When I pick this up though, this doesn't feel like a dollar bill. This feels like a photograph. It's much thicker. It's like photograph paper and rubbery. You can hear it compared to this. Right? No sound at all, just a piece of paper. You know, this has got some body to it. The water again is almost beating on it. And let's try to crumple this stuff up. It's resisting me a lot. It's a lot like if I was trying to crumple a milk jug or something. I mean, it's not quite that stiff, but definitely a lot stiffer than those other pieces of paper. Again, I don't have to be gentle with it. And you'll see that compared to the Right in the Rain stuff, no problems. This is almost a rubber product. Wow, pretty neat. So, in fact, look at that. I'm pushing with my finger really hard. Pretty neat stuff. Really impressed with the National Geographic stuff. Thanks to USN Doc for recommending this months ago. Really, I'm going to be using this, I think, in the future. It's not as... actually, I have no idea how much this stuff cost. It's been so long since I bought it. This stuff wasn't cheap, but obviously it's going to do what I want. And I suspect I could probably let this piece dry out and still use the whole other side. So, quick look at outdoor weatherproof paper and whether or not it's good. I think that it's all good. The National Geographic stuff is just a hair better. Depending on the price, your Right in the Rain stuff isn't a bad deal either. Thanks for watching.